stop everything. I've got 3 massive Celtic stories for you. Listen to this. Martin O'Neill finally lifting the lid on what Dermot Desmond really told him. Out+Trusty making a statement that says everything about this squad's mentality. And trust me, the last one is the biggest of the lot because a top target wants Parkhead and is ready to turn Rangers down cold. We bring you daily news to keep you right up to date with the mighty Celtic. Hit subscribe and join in. Celtic asking Martin O'Neill to step back into the dugout was not some romantic reunion story. It was a proper slice of humble pie, and even the man himself knows it. Sitting there, reflecting on how it all unfolded, O'Neill makes it clear this was never meant to be neat, tidy, or comfortable. This was crisis management, pure and simple, the kind of job you take when the club you love needs steady hands more than pretty football. He admits straight up that the first spell was always wrapped in uncertainty. Dermot Desmond didn't hand him a grand plan, a roadmap, or a long-term promise. What he got was a vague window. 2 weeks, maybe 2 months, somewhere in between. That alone tells you everything about where Celtic were at the time. Scrambling, firefighting, trying to stop the season spinning completely out of control while certain rivals across the city were already getting far too loud for their own good. O'Neill says, looking back, there's part of him that wouldn't have minded staying on. Not out of ego, not because he clings to the job, but because momentum matters. He felt that early spell was about stabilizing the dressing room, calming the noise, winning enough matches to get the heartbeat back to normal, and he did that. But football doesn't wait. The ground lost was still there when he stepped aside, and when he returned, the task felt eerily familiar. Same fight, same pressure, same demand to drag Celtic back onto the right track. Now, the difference is time. This spell runs to the end of the season, and that changes everything. There's excitement, he says, but also reality. Sunday matters massively. Calmac has already hinted at it himself. If you don't win games like that, the road back becomes brutally long. This is not about building for next year or experimenting. This is about surviving, competing, and giving yourself a chance to win something when it looked like slipping away. There's no bitterness in O'Neill's words, no blame thrown around, just honesty. He picked up a club that needed direction, handed it on, and now he's back again. Sleeves rolled up, doing what he's always done best. Fight, compete, restore belief, and do it with the weight of expectation that only Celtic can place on a manager's shoulders. Here's the uncomfortable question for you as a Celtic fan. Should Martin O'Neill have been given the job until the end of the season from the very start instead of wasting time, ground, and belief while rivals laughed and pulled clear? Hit that subscribe button to the channel and help us reach 1,500 Celtic fans. Out+Trusty, walking off that pitch in Bologna, might only have a point in his pocket, but make no mistake, that performance felt like a victory to anyone who actually understands football. From the moment Reo Hatate put Celtic ahead early doors, you could sense it was going to be one of those European nights that tests character, nerve, and belief. And then came the sending off. 10 men, over an hour to play, away from home in Italy with a Serie A side smelling blood. That's when you find out who's built for this club. Trusty didn't just cope, he stood up and dragged Celtic through it. He gets on the score sheet himself, sticking us into dreamland when most teams would already be wobbling. And after the break, he turns into a wall. Not flashy, not glamorous, just proper defending, throwing his body in the way, reading danger, leading by example. When Bologna pulled one back and then leveled it, there was no panic from him, no hiding, just head down, chest out, and keep going. You look at the numbers, the pressure, the way Celtic had to dig in, and that point feels earned the hard way. Kasper Schmeichel had his hands full. The back line was under siege, but Trusty was right at the heart of it. Again, this wasn't a one-off either. Cast your mind back to Atalanta, away from home, clean sheet, another night where he showed he's not here to make up the numbers. What really tells you about the lad is what he said afterwards. No big ego, no excuses, no moaning about the referee. He called it one of his personal favorite nights in a Celtic jersey. Not because of the goal, not because of headlines, but because of the fight, because of the togetherness, because of the traveling Celtic fan who turned Bologna into a mini Parkhead and never stopped singing. That's leadership. That's someone who gets what this club demands. In a side still finding its rhythm under Martin O'Neill, Trusty is quickly becoming one of the pillars. Calm, committed, and clearly loving life in green and white. Nights like that don't just earn points, they build teams. So here's the question you need to answer honestly. After performances like Bologna and Atalanta, is Austin Trusty already undroppable in this Celtic defense, no matter who's fit or available? Hit that subscribe button to the channel and help us reach 1,500 Celtic fans. This one is interesting, and it tells you a lot about where Celtic still sit in this country. Nico Sigur's name has been floating about for a while now, and early in the window, there was a lot of noise suggesting a deal was basically done. Turns out that was nonsense. No agreement, no personal terms, no pen hovering over paper, just interest, proper interest, but nothing more than that. What matters now is what's come out since. Sigur is being watched closely by Celtic, still is, and that hasn't changed. The club know exactly where he is, what he offers, and how he fits, but here's the bit that really makes you smile. The other lot across the city have been sniffing about as well, and the player's response has been pretty clear. If he's moving to Glasgow, it's Parkhead he wants, not Ibrox. That alone tells you everything you need to know about levels, pool, and ambition. Mark Hendry has basically confirmed what most of us already suspected. Rangers showed interest, but Sigur would rather be pulling on green and white. That's not just flattering, it's pivotal. Because if Celtic decide to move properly in the next few days, that preference could swing the whole thing. Footballers talk, agents talk, and players absolutely know the difference between fighting for trophies and fighting for excuses. Now, let's be clear, this is not a done deal. It's still about the hierarchy getting round the table, speaking to the players' people, and opening real conversations with Hajduk Split. Until that happens, it's just monitoring. But in a January window where time disappears fast, having the player leaning your way is half the battle already won. Sigur is one to keep an eye on, no doubt about it. Young, technically sharp, and with the sort of profile Celtic tend to polish rather well. With the Scottish window closing on the 2nd of February at 11 in the evening, the clock is ticking loudly. The club know they need bodies in, and ideally more than one. You would expect movement, you would hope for decisiveness, and you would expect Celtic to act like Celtic, not like a club dithering while opportunities pass. And here's the real question for you, and don't dodge it. If Nico Sigur openly prefers Celtic over Rangers, should the board move immediately and make a statement signing, or risk letting hesitation hand him to someone else and look foolish all over again? Hit that subscribe button to the channel and help us reach 1,500 Celtic fans.